Cats are not ignoring you, but they also don't act like they care. And that creates something strange in every cat owner's mind. Because one moment, your cat feels close, almost emotional, almost connected. And the next moment, it becomes completely silent, like you don't exist at all. No reaction, no emotion, no explanation. And the more you live with a cat, the more confusing it becomes, because you start to realize something important. You are not fully understanding what is happening inside it.
Most people think cats are simple, independent, cold, unbothered. They say it only comes when it wants food. It doesn't really care. It lives in its own world. But that explanation never feels complete, because the same cat that ignores you all day can suddenly sleep next to you at night. The same cat that never responds can appear when you are quiet or sad. And that contradiction is where the mystery begins, because nothing about it is fully predictable. To understand this, we need to go far back in time, before houses, before pets, before humans and cats lived together. Cats were alone, completely alone. No group, no protection, no trust system. Every moment was survival. Every sound mattered. Every movement mattered. And in that world, emotion was dangerous, because showing fear could attract predators, and showing need could make you weak. So over thousands of years, cats developed one powerful rule: hide everything. Not just fear, not just weakness, but also attachment. Because in nature, attachment can become a risk. If you depend too much, you lose survival control. So cats learned to stay calm, always controlled, always unreadable, even when they feel something deeply. Now, imagine that same system inside your home, inside a safe room, inside a quiet house, inside your daily life. That ancient survival instinct is still there, even when there is no danger, even when everything is safe. So your cat behaves in a way that feels emotional distance, but it is actually emotional control.
That is why your cat sometimes looks at you and then walks away. No sound, no reason, no explanation. But it is not random. Sometimes it is just checking, making sure you are there, confirming safety, and then leaving again, as if your presence alone is enough.
This is where humans get confused. Because we expect love to look active, we expect affection to be obvious, we expect reactions, but cats do not operate that way. For them, closeness does not always mean movement. Sometimes closeness is silence. Sometimes closeness is distance. Sometimes closeness is simply staying near without doing anything. Studies show cats recognize their owners. They recognize voices. They recognize routines. They recognize emotional tone. But they do not always respond. And that confuses science too, because understanding usually leads to reaction, but not with cats. Cats can understand fully and still choose silence. Even sleeping behavior hides meaning. When a cat turns its back to you, it is not ignoring you. It may be trusting you. Because in the wild, this position is dangerous. It removes defense. It removes control. But in safety, it becomes comfort. And comfort is not weak. Comfort is trust. Sometimes, a cat will just sit in the same room as you. Not playing, not asking, not reacting, just staying there. And that silence is easy to misunderstand, because humans expect interaction, but for cats, presence itself can be enough connection. Inside every cat, there is a conflict happening all the time. One instinct says, "Stay close, this is safe." Another instinct says, "Be careful, do not depend too much, and that tension creates their behavior, not confusion, but balance. That is why a cat does not trust quickly. It watches, it studies, it remembers. Your voice, your movements, your reactions, everything becomes information, and only after a long time does it slowly decide what you are, safe or not safe. Communication evolution. Even the sound of a cat is different with humans. In nature, cats rarely meow at each other. But with humans, they use it constantly, as if they developed a new communication system, not for survival, but for connection. And that alone shows something important. They changed because of us.
So maybe the cat is not distant at all. Maybe it is watching you more than you realize, learning your habits, studying your emotions, recognizing your presence, and slowly building trust in its own way, quietly, carefully, without showing it directly.
Cats do not give affection easily, but when they do, it is not random, it is not temporary, it is built over time, through observation, through safety, through repetition, and that is why it feels different from other animals, because it is earned, not given. So maybe your cat was never pretending not to care. Maybe it was just protecting itself in the only way it learned from nature. And if one day it chooses to stay near you, without fear, without distance, without hesitation, that moment is not small. It is not normal. It is trust. And for a cat, trust is the closest form of love that exists.